Alrighty. Alrighty, here we go. Good afternoon, folks. Welcome to Smudcast number 421. Fireproof, a Christian love story about money, part 2. Yes, we're continuing from yesterday because, well, I don't know why, but we just want to. So there we go. And it's Maggie Mae Fish, in case you haven't seen on the screen who that is. She is our lovable, huggable queen of Smudcast, and good Lord, what would we do without her? We'd be watching.
Payless Texas.
We would no. We'd be more sane. Let's just say we'd be more relaxed in life, and I don't know. I think we'd be happier. But other than that, no. We like watching her. She's quite the character. She likes bashing Christians. So that's her. I don't know if that's her thing, but she just likes doing it. So we'll watch her bash Christians and their movies, or Catholics and their movies too. So anyway, we're halfway done. A 32-minute video, and by the title it says "A Christian Love Story About Money, Fireproof." So, oh boy, only 2 years old, but feels like yesterday. We're just watching this. Anyway.
I wonder why.
Yeah. All right. Well, I heard it gets worse from here on in, so as it always does, but it's just special with her. So let's get going.
Rhetoric to tie their identities directly to God. They don't want you to be conscious that they are simply giving their best guesses, or that they are speaking of their own desires, or that they aren't any more qualified to speak for God than anyone else. They want you to set aside your rational mind, set aside the knowledge that preachers are just human beings like anyone else. They want you to accept that they are speaking the word of God out of their mouths. And this is why so many evangelicals
but you kind of have to do those things if you watch Maggie video.
Anti-rationality agenda by preventing their followers from learning things like the scientific method or
no one's stopping anyone
to which you don't adhere, Maggie.
No one's stopping
to that.
Learning about religion doesn't stop you from learning about the scientific method. No curriculum is stopping you from doing that. Nor would they omit the scientific method.
Social justice curriculum is.
Oh, really? Like math?
Yes.
Math.
Yes. Have you heard what Bill Gates was trying to do? It's like they were like trying to claim that maths is racist, so it should be taken out of the curriculum.
What? Math?
Yeah, and
yes.
Yes.
How is this even physically possible? What are you talking about?
Because
like
math was made by white people.
Okay.
Because it's systematic racism to have logic.
Yeah, and you should just when it's also about what answers feel right. The Simpsons joke has come to life.
Wow. Jeez, sometimes math is hard in school, but I wouldn't blame the mathematics itself. I'd blame my own lack of understanding. So.
Yeah, but that there is only one right answer to 2 + 2 that is authoritarian and therefore must be questioned. Who decides that 2 + 2 is 4?
I do know there was
that's on the curriculum for elementary schools in Boston.
I do know there was a thing called Common Core, which was ridiculed for a bit. I don't know if it's still around, but that was kind of the joke. It's like, okay, yeah, whoever's learning Common Core or mathematics via Common Core is wasting their time. It's just a silly thing.
That was the beginning of dumbing down the kids.
Oh. I don't know. I rather enjoyed doing mathematics as a kid, and it wasn't that hard. Even in high school, you got to that level. I was like, oh, I can keep going if I really wanted to. So.
I always hated maths. Like even in high school, and then I went to be a software engineer and got my degree. So.
Yeah, I know. It's kind of like, oh, I can do so much with math. It's like that. Yeah, you can be in engineering. You can go into counting money. You can do all kinds of great things. So it's like there's a whole world of learning.
Yeah, it just depends on the usage and like the way of like how to teach the subject. But yes, it's just I feel like how Maggie is talking about science is like from the perspective of the people who think that like, oh, it should be worshipped as a religion. and not be taught as actual science, where you
Do not
do your own
question the science.
research and you understand why something works. It's just like, I'm gonna trust an authority to tell me that this is the correct answer, and I'm not going to look into it. I think that's really dangerous.
Yeah. That is turning scientists, or those who claim to be, into priests.
Yeah, exactly, shouldn't be.
Okay, well, I understand her hatred towards religion, but it's just kind of ironic when she's saying these things about beliefs in the supernatural or the afterlife or what have you, for the whole purposes of teaching people to be better, which I guess that's the literal application of religion. And then she comes around and starts bashing Republicans and other people just who think different than she does. It's just strange to categorize everyone as bad because they're on the other political aisle.
It's because they don't they think Marxists are somehow evil and only cause trouble and bad things, when in reality science has proven that Marxism is the way to utopia. Don't you know?
I wish I read that book in grade school just so I can go, really? How's that utopia been working out the past few decades?
That wasn't real Marxism.
Oh, no, okay.
Maggie would do it right. Just make her supreme leader and
I don't
make
see
giant
her...
portraits of her that we transport around on tanks through town. Then utopia will come.
I don't see her as an intellectual. I know she has lots of crazy ideas that no one else has, but it's more like she's a dreamer. Like she's got these crazy concepts that no one put two and two together before, and you're like, oh yeah, of course, I have to look at a 1970s porn flick to understand.
Yeah, that all. I always saw Maggie as a cult leader, pretty much.
Yeah, cult of personality. As Nietzsche said, there are two sorts of people: those who want to believe and those who want to know. And well, if you don't have a drive to want to know, and you're just sticking with believing whatever you're told or whatever feels nice. And that is Maggie. Maggie thinks she knows, but that is really just belief.
All right. Anyway, let's keep on going.
Engaging in basic skepticism. They ensure that followers lack the intellectual tools that you need to debunk someone's false claims. It opens up the possibility for huge leaps in logic that lead to all kinds of economic and spiritual abuse.
Economic abuse. I love that word. What the hell does that mean? I'm abusing my wallet. My checkbook is going crazy.
It's when you don't give me my pocket money, that's economic abuse.
I don't know what that possibly means. It's like we need food to eat. We need money to pay for food. It's like, yeah, that's how it works. So
I bought all this makeup instead.
I don't know. We have priorities in the household, people. You know what they are: food, drink, amenities.
I just bought 10 bitcoins when they were at 60,000.
Yeah, no.
Each.
I gotta redo the yard. I'm sorry, that's gonna cost a few thousands. What? But I want a boat too. Oh no,
Maggie, economic illiteracy is not economic abuse.
Yeah, I don't know. If you want to buy a boat, I mean, you're pretty much doing well with your house and your car and your family. That's a good problem.
You want to buy a boat? It's your hobby.
Yeah, it's a good goal.
There's little reasons you want a boat. It's either for economic reasons, for a job, or because it's your fun thing, or because you want to live on it.
Oh, that's a good idea. Yeah, sell your house, live in your boat. Yeah.
Well, there's people on the Rhine who live in old transport ships and made them livable. So they're just parking there all the time and just have their boat.
Interesting. I do know there are houseboats, so you can't really tell, but they're just basically looking like boats, but downstairs in the what is it called? The first deck. It's all just a home. Just bathrooms, sink, kitchen, etc. So pretty cool that you can just suddenly go for a boat ride out to the ocean and find yourself in different waters. I don't know if you have jurisdiction to go there, but you might need a passport at least.
Ever since Berserk, I get PTSD if I see a boat.
Oh no.
I just feel like I'm gonna get on one and I'm not gonna get off for like 8 years or something.
Oh, how long have they been on that boat? I don't know.
Was that
8.5 years?
Was that real in world time, or just how long it took for the chapter to finish?
Hiatus. It's just the release of the chapters. I think it was only a few months because they only killed the Kraken and then landed at the Elf Island. Yeah.
Okay, so it's just like a D&D session on hold.
And now indefinitely.
Sadly, yes. Sadly, it always hits the wrong people.
Get on a boat, kill a sea god. Take some time.
Yeah, but like the last panel of Berserk, I'm sorry to spoil it. Like, goddamn, that's the cliffhanger of them all.
Well, at least he knew how to go out with a bang.
Yes.
Okay, so here's Mr. PhD, How Religious Fundamentalism Hijacks the Brain. Fantastic. Okay.
Writing in Psychology Today, Bobby Azari. We know that religious fundamentalism is strongly correlated with what psychologists and neuroscientists call magical thinking,
Really?
which refers to making
Maggie, that's
connections
you.
between actions and
That
events
is you.
when no such connections exist in reality. Without magical thinking, the religion can't survive, nor can it replicate itself.
I can't believe the irony.
I
seriously, I am overwhelmed with the irony.
magical thinking.
Maggie is reading to us about magical thinking.
I've never heard of.
Schizoid confused.
Yeah, I've never heard.
I don't even know what she is.
Of a clinical psychologist mentioning magical thinking. Maybe this is a certain discipline that this is a common term, but I have never.
Oh, it is. Magical thinking is what is also associated with borderline personality disorder.
Oh, delusions of all kinds of things.
Kind of. It's not. It can manifest in I can channel angels and aliens and talk with them. It can also be, I energize these tarot cards with my mountain crystals, so now I can remote heal people.
Oh boy.
With my prayers. So yeah, it's the same thing.
Yeah.
The esotericism is the same thing, and the whole, I identify as a non-binary pansexual minnow. That is also magical thinking. Because there is no basis in reality for any of this.
Okay, that's fair enough. That's just as long as I understand the concept. Okay.
Cognitive impairment we see in those with extreme religious views. And I'm going to emphasize extreme here. This is not the case for all believers or religions by any means. Is a greater reliance on intuitive rather than reflective or analytical thought, which frequently leads to incorrect assumptions, since intuition is often deceiving or overly simplistic. We also know that in the United States, Christian fundamentalism is linked to science denial. Since science is nothing more than a method of determining truth using empirical measurements and hypothesis testing, denial of science equates to the denial of objective truth and tangible evidence. In other words, the denial of reality. Not only does fundamentalism promote delusion.
Maggie, are there differences between men and women?
Well, that would be categorically an issue, right? She'd have to actually look at the term to figure out what the word means and then say, oh, yeah, okay, it means medically this or that.
Oh, but her side will say, no, there are no differences between men and women. Because the science says so, which isn't science. They just made up shit and call it science. And then peer review it with other people who made the shit up and call that science. The whole peer review process is broken.
Well, I like how you use the term objective truth. It's like, yes, that's a thing. Thank you. Scientists actually believe in these things.
Yeah. Hey. Oh. Maggie, objectivism is dead now. Cool. Good we established that. We should take note of this for later instances.
Yeah.
Should she ever bring that up?
Well, I think talking about RoboCop trying to become a female because he had a hallucination or dream of his wife kissing him after she died. That was like, whoa, okay, that's not exactly what happened in the film there, girl. But
yeah, lacking reasoning, analytical abilities. Maggie.
I like how the doctor is attacking intuition, but like Maggie is just pure emotions. It's just there's no rationale anyway for how her ideas come about.
Yeah. I would only have expected in some weird place like Bizarro World that Maggie would read to us a text like this. That she's so far gone that she can't even see how she is doing all of these very things.
Oh no, she's completely objective. She knows all the sciences and the maths. She understands it completely.
She is not aware how fucking delusional she is. That she is able to read this stuff without flinching.
Well, she does act.
Without for one second thinking, oh, am I doing this?
She does come across like she's acting a lot. And it's a script.
I think she just does this because it feels fun to her to act.
Oh, yeah. I mean, the reason behind it, I'm sure, is
not because she's fake. I don't think she is really this stupid. No, I mean, I do think she is really this stupid. That's what I mean.
But there's a certain creativity behind it. It's not just, I'm going to say talking points. I'm going to combine ideas that no one else has heard before about things that everyone knows, like a movie, and and interpret it. It's like, okay, yeah, you can do that, but you're wrong. I'm sorry, you're wrong. These ideas you have, no one has put A and B together before because there's no reason to. No one is going to start watching porno and connect that to a movie from like the 90s or the early 2000s. It just doesn't make sense. But she does that. She does that with all kinds of shit, and with poets and musicals and dancing and music. And you're just like, no, Maggie, come on. That's too much. It's too far.
Yeah, the thing is, she puts things together that don't fit together, that have no connections. And but things they're totally there. And this goes into, if she was paranoid on top of this, then it would be the easy way to say, oh, she has paranoid delusions.
Right.
But
and
she has just delusions.
Yeah, and being a critic means that you do take things of the same type or the same category and you compare the two, whereas she's just taking random ideas seemingly and trying to, look at this in this story, this happens. And it's, there's also a person like that in the other story. It's like, that's completely different genre, completely different character. You just can't do it properly without understanding the context of the scenes. So it's strange what she does. And I see this with not only game critics, but movie critics as well. They do something along those lines. Just not as zany and weird as Maggie Mae.
I'd say this is how you see pseudo intellectuals. How you can spot them.
Maybe
they put together stuff that doesn't make sense.
Maybe,
and think, I found this holy grail that nobody's seen before. Yeah, because it's not there.
Maybe because we've encountered the talkative person at post-secondary education who just has crazy ideas, but you don't know where they're going. And it seems like they don't know where they're going. Like, she's just connecting random things. You're like, where did that come from? Why are we talking about this? Like, why are we even talking about Catholic, Christian, whatever videos? Because they're bad. It's like, yeah, they're bad. So what are we going to glean from a bad movie for quality outside of it's so bad it's good, which is what she mentioned. So if we already know that's the context of the video, what are we doing here aside from bashing the creators? I don't get it. So we can do that with good, like popular stuff, like Halo is a very popular game. Why is that a good game? Why is it a bad story? Why is it a good story? There's lots of things to look at. There's lots of content to evaluate. But not by comparing it to like science fiction from the 70s. That'd be kind of silly. So anyway, let's see what else she's got for us.
thinking. It also encourages followers from themselves to any different ideas, which acts to protect the delusions that are essential to the ideology. And a recent Pew Research Center poll shows that 44% of Republicans believe that the scientific method can be used to produce any conclusion the researcher wants. Evangelical Christians, who are overwhelmingly Republican, literally do produce any conclusion that they want by saying, God says so. So these Republicans project their own lack of credibility onto others, acting as if everyone else uses the same groundless, faulty logic as they do. This misunderstanding of the scientific method ends up influencing people, and therefore influencing policy, and therefore flat Earth. And this is not me trying to pull in us.
Incredible conclusions.
I think there's way more behind this question.
Yeah, science is not 100%. It's not.
For example, yeah.
It's not super accurate.
We got a lot of wrong stuff from science, like, lobotomies sound like a great idea. Let's do those. You need to get one. The doctor said it's good, and the doctor has studied this stuff, so it must be correct, right?
Well, yeah, the whole branch of psychotherapy, Freud idea, like all these things that he's using a scientific method. He's conducting trials and interviews. It's like he's thinking there's an inherent voice who wants to have sex with his mother. Like, are you sure that's what's really happening here with this man?
Are you sure that isn't projection on his part?
Yes, something is too weird. It's like, Freud, I know you got this whole Oedipal anal complex thing that you think is true, but does that happen with everyone? Really? I don't know. It's a bit too far-reaching there. So we look at Freud and go, maybe not so much.
Weirdos tend to try to justify their stuff by hoping that everyone's like that, and then it's not so bad to have this weird shit going on in your head.
Well, there's lots of even when we got to the 19th century with psychology, and we changed the way we look at conducting trials and what methods work and don't. It took some time. But people still use these techniques, and it's kind of weird. Even with psychiatrists who use an empirical view, they're going to say, "Oh, you know what? You got to take these drugs. You got to go through these
drugs that the big pharma lobbyist told me to sell this month, because then if I sell enough, I get a free Caribbean vacation
or whatever." Yeah. So there's all different approaches even nowadays to mental health, and having a man look at you like a medical problem, or having a clinical psychologist look at you like a humane problem or a social issue, or all kinds of things. There's many facets to your life that usually aren't solved by popping a pill. So
yeah. And the other thing behind this is that we can entertain Maggie's idea here, sure. You can also interpret this as the non-Democrat leaning people, or critical of the left wing right now, see that science produces all sorts of utter bullshit right now that even gets peer reviewed, and as Bogosian, Lindsay, and Pluckrose demonstrated, even gets special awards for just posting Mein Kampf when you slightly alter the nouns used. This gives you the idea. This easily gives you the idea that science at large can justify anything, because the peer review process is broken. The scientific method itself, that thing holds. However, it is not correctly applied anymore, and people claim to use it and then produce this Lysenkoist crap hole. That makes people think science doesn't work. So here's also the question, did the people who were asked this understand the question? Do they know the difference between science and the scientific method?
Were you referencing those group of people that made 20 fake papers that one time that all got published? About sex roles and a bunch of other crap.
Yeah. Sadly, they just got found out before they wanted to do their big thing, and the Hitler paper then didn't get the award it was supposed to get.
Oh boy.
It was supposed to be featured in a 25 anniversary edition of some journal, and they found it so great that they wanted to put it as their main thing.
It was something about public dog sex or something. Like, what the fuck?
No. It was the Mein Kampf paper.
Oh, was that one? Okay.
Yeah.
It was just over. Everything was...
in the dog sex dog park paper. They just made up the data completely.
Yeah. It was crazy. I don't know if you guys heard about that a few years ago, but it was absolutely nuts.
Yeah. Scientific method.
Yeah.
Totally robust.
Peer review, of course. Fantastic.
Yeah, the method works, but you have to actually apply it, and social justice does not.
Okay, here is catalytic converter thief. Wow. That's a very specific piece of hardware. I don't know how you'd steal that, but okay. Yeah, the Pew Research Center is not a fair and unbiased source. They consider CNN to be a credible and honest news source. It's no wonder that the woman who said Sam and Pippin were gay because they're within the vicinity of each other thinks this way. Okay. Oh. That would be something. That would be something Maggie Mae would probably say. Did she ever talk about Lord of the Rings? I don't think we've covered one of her videos on the topic.
Yes.
Us versus them.
She has a video about it.
Yeah. She'd probably talk about how gay they were or whatever.
I think we covered that.
We didn't. Trying to remember. That was
we covered several people who thought that. Norellities was of that kind. Lindsay Ellis is of that kind, kinda. And Maggie definitely too. She was gayifying someone. Definitely.
Yeah, I know. It's always a topic. She brought up the whole issue of what if Amidala was hooking up with Obi-Wan, and you're like, oh, okay, doesn't happen. But she thought that would be the story, and that's what's really happening in the movie. You're like, no, okay, that's enough. Thanks for your input. Anyway, back to Republicans thinking about science for some reason. Okay.
29% of Democrats who also think this way, crystals away. In Fireproof, we will see this anti-skeptic, anti-science attitude played out as Kirk's dad actively discourages Kirk from observing the real world around him. We see Daddy gaslight Kirk.
If there's a God out there somewhere, Dad, he's not interested in me and my problems.
I disagree. I'd say he's very interested.
Then where's he been in my life?
I'd say he's been at work all around you.
God, that's green screen.
We will see Daddy negate Kirk's thoughts and feelings in order to push his own thoughts and feelings on Kirk.
Caleb, I want you to do something for me.
What?
I want you to hold off on the divorce for 40 days.
And because the goal of this movie is to serve as a script that evangelicals can follow in their daily lives, we will watch Kirk obediently follow Daddy's orders.
Okay, so hold on a sec. Let's say he wasn't religious and he's just saying, hey, hold off on your divorce. I want you to think it over and whatever. The end result is, don't do anything rash. Don't. The solution is just take it easy, think about things through, and don't throw everything away. Now, maybe that's a bad idea. Maybe he should get divorced. But whatever mentality this old dude is thinking, he's looking out for his son, as it is. So, I don't care if he's religious or scientific in this regard. He's saying, hey, slow down. Think about this. So, I'm not, I don't care where he's coming from. The result is the same. To contemplate what you're about to do. For 40 days. That's a pretty big long time period to say I'm going to divorce someone and figure out your life. So I don't see that's a big deal or a problem.
Yeah, you can totally remove the religious aspect of this movie and you just can just have a regular story about a guy that might divorce his wife over things. Because love life seems to be in shambles right now. Because the women is accusing him as just trash. So no wonder the guy doesn't want to have sex with her. There's you could just remove all of these religious things and you would have a very regular drama story or soap opera flick.
Yeah, it's something you'd watch on the Women's Network or something in the evening.
Yes, something like that.
But because it's religious, Maggie has to talk about it. And it's, they're horrible people.
Religious, Republican, and other things.
You know, I've met quite a lot of religious folks. They're pretty nice. Like, they're really nice about stuff. Like, you want some stuff from our garden? We made a pie. We did this. It's like they're really giving and kind and nice. So whatever that does to their mentality, it's a good thing.
I have no idea where Maggie came from that like she hates these people so much. Like, unless it was like one of those cults like Jehovah's Witnesses or such. But
maybe she said fundamental Christians, so I was like, all right, that's
fundamental, yes.
That's a bit over the top. But if the end result is they're just nice people and they want you to think things through, it's like, how is that irrational? Why is that bad?
Mm-hmm.
They believe in a higher power guiding their choices. It's like, what's wrong with that? Anyway.
Yeah, but then you don't have choices.
Well, you could say it's all determined by God, or, my pastor said this, therefore I'll do it. It's like, well, if they're recommending good decisions, it's like, think things through, make your own opinion. Don't jump to conclusions and sleep on it for 40 days. Like, that's all good advice. I'm not seeing a problem here. They're not like, here's some medication, here's some booze, here's some money to go to a strip club or something. It's like, no, they just think things through.
Yeah, I also want to trust some divine power. What kind of cheese I'm going to use on my pizza?
It's either mozzarella di bufala or fior di latte, or you're not allowed in this home.
Maybe I'm going to have like one of my friends who can't drink milk.
Can't drink milk.
He's going to love the buffalo.
Trust your intuition.
You're going to get...
Yes, you got to consider that too. Yeah.
Get like almond butter cheese.
Is the salt kosher enough?
Oh, yeah.
After putting up the flimsiest resistance ever to make Daddy's argument seem totally bulletproof.
Yes, sir.
So what's in the Love Dare book anyways? It must be relationship advice, right? And spiritual advice. On the surface, it may seem that way.
Whatever you put your time, energy, and money into will become more important to you. It's hard to care for something you're not investing in. Buy your wife something that says you were thinking of her today.
But notice how the language...
That's totally normal.
Like door paint?
Door paint?
Yeah,
yes.
Just buy the paint. She wanted you to buy something, buy the thing. It's really that simple. People ask you to do something, you do it. It's like, they'll like you more. That's true. Yeah. But your wife, you just say, yes, honey, yes.
Yes, honey. Honey.
We will do the thing you want to do, even though I'm completely uninterested, but I have the time to do so tomorrow, so I'll do it.
Mm-hmm. It's basically a quest, and you answer it with, in the German tongue, Ja, Schatz.
Here's...
You need to say it with a sigh.
Here's Jimmy Coffa. All right. I think the dad in this film is actually saying, hell yes, son, divorce that bitch. She wants you to drop 30 grand on door painting and landscaping. She'll bleed us dry. Is Maggie angry that her boyfriend wouldn't let her spend money on a hot pink door? Oh my God. Hot pink door? What is this, the 80s?
Don't have red doors. There's only demons behind them every time you have one.
You don't want hot pink doors in your house. I mean, you could, but I'm just like, where would you put it? Like, the bathroom? Like, what?
You could do a fake door
for the sake of having a pink job somewhere.
Yes. Oh, I can imagine Maggie would love that.
Oh yeah, it's not a real door. It's a make believe door. Okay.
Of this book is never about feelings or relationships or communication, and more often than not it's about money. That one passage mentioned money, investing, and buying stuff. Money.
These are all good things that you should learn. Money, investing, and then buying things with your money. Yes, this is what you want in life, believe it or not.
No, it's much easier to just ask for donations on the internet.
I don't care if the lesson's coming from a religious inspired text. We don't get this in school. They don't teach you accounting in school, and they should on a very basic level. Like, you pick it up but naturally because you're not an idiot. You have to live. But if they just gave you like home ec and shop classes, and then with that was like accounting class, I know it sounds boring, but hey guys, whatever you make, spend less. It's a very simple rule. And the things you don't spend money on, you do something with. And we were going to have a talk about Dunn about his investments. We do it in a joking way, of course. But it's a very good lesson to learn of what you do with your money because of interest rates and banks and all sorts of other avenues and institutions to put your savings in, because you're going to be living on your money for the next 10, 20, 30, hopefully 50, 60 years. So you got to plan that ahead. And if there's no planning, you're just going to be living on paychecks, which is not the best way to go. Anyway, I see nothing wrong with it being in a pamphlet or a textbook from a religious organization or not. Makes little difference to me. It's the outcome that you get. So I see nothing wrong with that, focusing your mind on things that have value. So anyway.
Money! Everything is a transaction. And see this transactional mindset pay off at the climax of the movie.
Well, yeah, everything in life is a transaction to that regard. You spend your time on something and you get something out of it. In the case of like media, we get enjoyment, we get catharsis, we get contemplative thought, we get all kinds of stuff out of the things we consume. So maybe we have an addiction, maybe we're reading too much, maybe we're watching too much. That's possibly. It doesn't really bother me that I read too much or watch too much, so long as I'm doing other life stuff that matters. So that's a good lesson to have as well. Being too engrossed in your investments, whether it's financial or otherwise. So I think, the Dalai Lama was like, every year, go somewhere else. That's one of his rules. You just pick up, go on a trip, travel, go down the street. Doesn't matter where. Just go somewhere else. Expand your understanding of the world. It might help you later on in life. Anyway.
When Dick Cheney and the Love Dare do mention feelings, not to explore that.
What the hell? I know it's skipping. I gotta rewind that. Holy shit. What did she just say? Dick Cheney.
Or communication. And more often than not, it's about money. That one passage mentioned money, investing, and buying stuff. Money! Everything is a transaction, and we will see this transactional mindset pay off at the climax of the movie. When Dick Cheney and the Love Dare do mention feelings, it's not to explore them or ask why you're feeling that way, or whether or not your love is real, or what your preferred pound is. It's to suppress and deny your feelings. Never feel anything.
I feel nothing.
I understand, son.
But this is not based on feelings. It's a decision.
Your marriage is not based on feelings? It is hard to overstate how dystopian and soulless.
Well, marriage is based on a legal contract, so if you make the contract, it's your job to uphold it. Whether you like that or not, you made that choice. Believe it or not, a lot of people grudgingly go through their marriage, not because it's, it's a bad idea. It's because, times are. What's the people say, the vow, through good times and the bad, they will stay faithful to this person and love them and cherish them, yada yada yada. Isn't that part of marriage? You have to endure together.
Supposedly, yes.
So
well, not for Maggie.
Yeah, it's like he's having a hard time with his marriage. Well, obviously you should get divorced. It's like, wait, what? No, that's not a good reason just because he's having a hard time. It's not anything worthwhile is hard. You think your ideal life is going to be easy? Of course not. Just give up. Maggie's like, just give up. Yeah, no, he's not happy. It's all everything. Can you imagine getting married to a lady just because you're sexually attracted to her?
Oh, lots of people do that.
Oh, I know, but if that's it, like, holy crap, that's not a basis for a relationship.
Yeah, it's going to be a horrible. Imagine spending 40 years with that person, growing old, and your libido goes away, and you both turn ugly, and the reason to have sex is gone.
Right.
And then you have this person there with whom you based your relationship on sex.
Right.
And now all you have is the actual person.
It's like your emotions will chill out as you go day by day with this person. You would have talked about every topic that they like and dislike. Their moods. You know what they want to do at certain times of the day. They know the routines. Yes, life is going to get mundane and the samey. It's going to happen. But as soon as if you don't feel happiness anymore, oh, no, you got to get divorced. It's like, what? No. That's a weird...
Maggie, marriage isn't just a drug.
Yeah, it's like pixies and fairies.
The relationship
and honey
is not just the infatuation in the beginning.
Yeah, like every day has to be magical. It's like, no, are you crazy? Can you imagine going out with a girl? I don't know. Maybe she's a virgin, or maybe she's just completely ignorant of life. And you're not.
I wanna spend my days with someone whom I can be quiet with as well and enjoy that.
Yeah, I don't want some crazy person I have to entertain every day. That'd be nuts. It's like a child. I don't want a child. I want a person who has their own life together and their own maturity. So I'm not like, oh, you're boring today. It's like, oh, excuse me, I'm boring today? What do you want me to do?
Entertain me, marriage slave.
Yeah. Like, we're not in here to have fun together. So I'm making you happy through my dancing and you're making me happy through your whatever. It just like doesn't make any sense. Jeez, marriage is not all fun and games, guys. Like any relationship. Okay. The Giga Chad. Thank you, sir. Although it's always nice to get money from the Giga Chad. My God, Maggie looks like an Easter Island statue. Oh boy, that's a tough one. I wouldn't go that far, but she feels like a Stepford wife, just crazy Stepford wife, just, you know.
Yeah. Yeah. So if your crazy Stepford wife or Stepford girlfriend starts killing your friends or driving them to suicide, maybe get rid of that relationship.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of that meme with the girlfriend who's possessive or whatever. Like, that's her crazy eyes all the time. That's just Maggie.
Yeah. And that girl was just acting.
Yeah, this is all a script. She's just reading her script and being emotional and
But I can tell you after way too much exposure to that these kinds of crazy eyes you see on borderliners. So if you see those crazy eyes, really, they're crazy eyes. Stay away from that woman or man.
Okay.
You may find that quirky and entertaining at first, but that's not everything. That's just a siren.
All right.
This movie is. The characters act so casual. They make these inhuman statements. I think most people would agree that love is a lot of things, but it's definitely a feeling, right?
No, it's not. A lot of people categorize love as multiple things, but more as a devotion, not an emotion. It's something you are focused on. It could be obsessive. It could be compassionate. It could be all sorts of things, but it's not.
Can be deep care about someone.
Yeah, it's something which produces emotion, but by itself, no, it's not. There's no loving emotion. You have a feeling of longing, of lust, of friendship, of all kinds of emotions which are positive towards
adoration.
Yeah, there's all kinds, but I wouldn't characterize it specifically as an emotion. No, I would say absolutely not. And I could be wrong. You guys could say I think love is an emotion. That's fine. This is a topic that I learned early on, like truth, true love, reality, nature, all these big words I always get very sensitive about, is we learned that, at least I learned that early in university, that people who try and define them miss the boat. They're not wrong. They're just getting 1/10 of the picture. They think this is what love is.
They usually haven't experienced it yet.
Well, that's one thing. I know that in psychology they define, there's all these definitions of love. Like there's these three main categories. There's the guy who comes up with 5, and it's depending on the mentality you're coming from. And like Nietzsche will have his own, and all these other philosophers will talk about love. Going back to the Greeks, so it's a complicated topic, but it's not just a simple it's reduced to emotion. It's like, no, not at all. Anyway.
Love is definitely a feeling. That's one of the strongest, right?
No.
I'm questioning myself because I've been so gaslit by Dick Cheney. This is why evangelical...
The movie is gaslighting me. That's fantastic. I love it.
Maggie, you're not the one who should be complaining about gaslighting. It's sad and painful.
It's funny. I like the fact, oh, I hate this film. Oh, I don't know what love is. It's like, you never thought about it? What your feelings mean? I can't believe someone growing up, even if you're not studying psychology, thought about, what is love? What do I feel? What does it mean to care about someone, and why? What is my interest in this thing or person? That it's a constant questioning of what it means to be alive. This is not some specialized knowledge. Everyone goes through this. He's like, oh my God, I'm questioning what it means to love. It's like, yes. Every time you fall in love with someone, it's going to be different. It's not just, oh, they're attractive, they're sexual. Ooh, no. There's something about them, the way they talk, the topics they go on about, the way they walk, the way they look at you, the way they want to spend time with you. What do they spend time with? What do they want to do with you, etc., etc. There's all kinds of things. And if you're not questioning that, then I don't know what you're, like a honeybee, you're just, oh, sugar, I'll go over there now. It's not a very good life. Or a very intelligent one, rather.
He appeals so much to patriarchs. Bert's daddy used to be king of the castle, and he doesn't even have to change any of his toxic behaviors. His word becomes the word of God. His toxic behavior simply becomes just another part of God's plan.
I kind of always laughed how the mother is the head of the household, and her word was the word of God. If she said something, you did it. So
Yeah.
It wasn't a patriarchal thing. It was a matriarchal thing, if you want to go that far. So yeah,
household was always the complete realm of the wife.
Yeah, like the father.
Man had no say.
The father would rarely hit you unless you were really acting up, but the mother always hit you. She's the woman. She gets to do that. She has to enforce things. Usually the father's away from the home, but if it's really,
if she does it, it means something.
Yeah, the father's like, "What are you doing? Stop that!" Bam. Okay, I'll stop. Mother's like, "No, I'm angry. You are going to stop now." Oh, okay.
Yeah, because when the supposedly more kind one is doing that, you screwed up big time.
Yeah. Okay.
Out against daddy's abuse is now considered disregard. Standing up to him is now a sin. And that is not me exaggerating. Evangelicals explicitly say that a wife needs to obey a husband as she would the word of God. This movie's arguing that for men, marriage is simply a choice where you decide which woman you want to possess.
I've now made a decision to love your mother, whether she deserves it or not.
And after you've made...
That's marriage.
Mm-hmm.
You say in legally binding terms, we're going to be together whether it's good or bad.
Yeah. Through the good times and the bad.
Yeah,
that's the point. So you have someone you can rely on.
You're making a promise. You're saying whatever's going to come our way, we're going to face it together.
And if you suddenly go crazy and start making YouTube videos, I'm gonna stay with you.
Can you imagine like her revealing...
Unless you kill my friends.
The only way she's going to get a boyfriend is if they know about this YouTube thing and they approve of it 100%. There's like no 99.6% faith. It's like, no. You have to completely get sold on Maggie Mae Fish's craziness or else like it wouldn't work. Like, can you imagine like me revealing to a date or whatever? It's like, yeah, I have this channel where we argue about all this crazy shit. And if they, disagree with me even slightly, it's like, oh, that woman's going to run. She's going to take off. Like, oh, you're right wing. It's like, I'm not right wing. I just disagree with lots of left leaning people. It's like, oh, I don't believe you. It's like, well, okay, bye. And that's moderate. We're pretty moderate on this channel. We're not like bashing lefties more than the right. We just bash whoever comes across our screen. But
it just happens to right now be more lefties.
Pretty much, yeah. I don't.
Pretty sure that'll change in a couple of years again.
Get
the right wing nut jobs again.
Get the whatever right wing people in power in Canada and the U.S. or whatever, and it'll flip, I'm sure. So, yeah, it's just
unless the Chinese take over.
The Chinese. Well, I don't know. Romance for Maggie might be a little strange. I don't want to think about it too much, but you have to be sold on this lady completely, or there's no 9/10 of a You have to be committed completely. So, tough sell.
Decision once, you can never change your mind, never feelings or different feelings, and never go back. There's a no return policy.
Maybe some people work on their problems, and sometimes a divorce is the right
You don't know
choice.
that yet.
Dick Cheney, who is never in a
Okay.
scene with the wife character, is speaking as an expert on their marriage. Can you imagine?
Because he's an old man, he's been married for 50 years or whatever.
He kind of knows the game.
He kind of knows how marriage works. Yeah, believe it or not, old people do. I don't think she's ever talked to her mom, who may hopefully have been married, and said, "Mom, I'm having relationship problems. What do I do?" They have answers. That's why you go to your parents. That's why you go to your neighbors who are old.
Mm-hmm.
They'll give you wisdom about how to deal with people. It's pretty common stuff. So
Yeah, sometimes it even works.
this is what I mean. Like, you don't need to meet the people to know these specific problems. You can give these wonderful platitudes about life that are general principles on how to deal with problems. That's why you don't have like professors going to homes and trying to sort people's personal problems. Like, no. There's certain things you follow in life. Like, don't get angry. Don't raise your voice too much. You don't need to do that to get your point across. Focus on the argument, what the problem is. You don't have to do that in person, okay? Ay.
Imagine if your marriage is falling apart and your distant weird who hasn't even spoken to your wife since your wedding day was just like, yeah, but stay married because I said so. Kirk's daddy is so insistent on killing your feelings. It's downright pathological.
You can't listen to the way you feel at the moment.
I'm no psychiatrist.
That's a good advice. Like, don't make harsh decisions, because like at the moment you might not be level-headed. Like, you might make something that you will regret.
Yeah.
Even in a day.
Especially negative feelings.
That's like such a great advice. Like,
yeah. We saw a scene where he was exploding on his wife for disrespecting him or whatever. You're like, okay, maybe she deserved it, but even then, that's like, you don't do that to your wife. You probably should not say, at least in my opinion, you should probably never react that way to anyone.
Yeah, because like she's supposedly like the person that you love the most, so like is respect the most as well. Like, why would you do that? Like, those two should like know each other by now as much to not make a decision like that.
Yeah, so this is simply a basic communication issue, as most problems in the household are. It's like a miscommunication or a lack of communication. And that's what it sounds like. He's always thinking about his boat. She's always thinking about the house. And it's like, oh, we have different priorities. We should align those up and, say which is more important. Then we tackle them as they come. Like, that's what you do in a household. That's what you do in a relationship, living together. You have to go for groceries. We have enough money. Is the store open? Is it on sale? Do I have the car? All these things. All the logistics. That's life. I know it's mundane, but that's why we find contemporary dramas and slice of life kind of boring for me, because it's like, yeah, this is what I do all day. Why would I want to watch that or read about that? Buying groceries and getting angry over the celery. It's like, okay, here we go.
I'm pretty sure that if someone tells you to disregard your feelings and then follow them blindly, that's what's known in the psychiatry biz as a big ol' red flag.
No? Which psychiatry biz? What are you talking about? You know how many
This
people...
is according to science.
You know how many people have negative emotions that they should not follow constantly?
Mm-hmm.
People with anger issues, or just people who have misunderstandings of what it means to be sexually aroused, or not murdering people, not lashing out in violence.
Yeah, or because someone insulted you in your dream.
Oh God. Yeah, well, that's another issue. This is normal stuff, Maggie, not to enact your negative emotions. There's a whole discipline of Stoicism which deals with that, which disregards all negative emotions. Says, yeah, they're real, they're part of you, but don't act upon them.
They're not necessarily productive.
Exactly. Do not focus on things which are negative, because they're not going to achieve anything. That's why in that book he was reading, it's like, whatever you invest in doesn't matter if it's money, will compound, will get bigger. You'll focus on it more, which is pretty logical. You focus on the thing you spend a lot of time on, like exercise. You do any exercise for 10 minutes a day, you're going to get better at that thing in 30 days or whatever. I don't care if you're like doing curls, like just the most basic exercise. You're going to get better. If you're lifting 1 kilo weight and you're just doing curls for 30 minutes a day for 30 days, you're going to get better at curls. So it doesn't matter what it is. Physically, financially, you're going to get better at it. So, anyway. CEO of sex or Siouf sex. Siouf's X. So you could be someone named Siouf's, could be a foreign name, and then X, because maybe they're divorced. I have no idea. Anyway. Maggie, guys, it's dumb that Kirk Cameron's character listens to his dad, who's been married for several years. It's better to be an irrational fucking retard like me, who's never been married, and has a squid who plays clarinet living in my head. This is taking the subjective argument a bit too far. I think I wouldn't say it, but emotions are so important. It's like not really. They come after thoughts. After you have a thought, it's processed. Then you express your emotion.
Including your unconscious thoughts.
Yeah.
They are, if you will, they are the products of your intuition.
Can you imagine?
There's logic to your intuition, but it can also miscalculate.
Can you imagine her waking up from a nap or the middle of the night and just having the hugest anxiety attack, and just listen to your emotion, kill yourself, jump out that window? It's like, whoa,
no,
wait a second,
no, thank you.
Let's not deal with our sleep cycles and the way our brain works. That's a dangerous topic. So, yeah,
that's don't do that. It's it can be tough, but you can just cramp yourself up into a ball and it'll go away eventually.
So general lesson, we have lots of emotions running around in our psyche. Yes, we should listen to them, and sometimes no, we shouldn't. So
yes,
hopefully the positive ones you should listen to. Anyway.
That's one step away from brainwashing. Or a step towards brainwashing. Either way, it feels like brainwashing. But over and over, the dad makes...
That's almost ironic. But...
It's really ironic, because like I think like Smud you're about to like say it, but like because like Maggie is accusing this father character of gaslighting, while Maggie is doing fucking gaslighting herself.
It's like, hey son,
this is usually how it works with gaslighting.
Amazing.
Hey son, don't get divorced. Give it a month.
Don't make rash decisions in the moment.
That's a horrible lesson. Like, what?
Horrible lesson. It's brainwashing.
Gaslighters love to accuse you of misremembering and lying and gaslighting when it's what they're doing. Maggie, I would guess, is just not aware that she's doing.
Even when
she's doing it,
I was a kid,
she's not aware enough.
When I was a kid and I listened to priests, they never said anything about God's plan or anything. They're very down to earth and straightforward with kids. So I don't know if this is an adult thing. And even then, maybe it's a fundamentalist Christian thing. I don't know, because I don't watch these movies. But I've never had a nun or a priest or a brother talk about life in the scope of, well, this is God's will, and this is what we're supposed to do as human beings on this. I was like, no, they're very down to earth, practical responses to questions. So,
is a good answer to this, I think. Yeah.
The argument that feelings are something to be decided rather than listened to.
They are.
I'd say the halfway point was the hardest for us. When you determine whether your heart's in it or not.
Yeah.
This movie feels less like a father teaching his son how to be a good husband or person, and more like a father teaching his son how to be complicit with a crime. Teaching people to...
So marriage is a crime?
What kind of crime? Where did the crime come from? Like, he didn't do anything. He went to a boat site and the pop-up went on his computer screen. Like, where did it go beyond that?
that he was unable to click away.
Oh, now I get it. Okay.
His alt-tabbing skills need work, yeah.
Well, he did have that scene. Like, I don't know if it's the same scene where the guy was looking at the screen and it was the same goddamn pop-up again. Or was it like 2 different days and it was the same page again? Like, I'm confused because like how she edits the video is not really giving it justice, but this is bad. What are you doing, Maggie?
Oh yeah, I'm seeing. I get a lot of highlights in the chat. I'm sorry, I'm not paying that much attention today. I'm painting something. Cyber, you did some economic experiment in school, and you saved money, and everyone else was in debt. That is funny.
Yeah, the best thing you could get for a social program as a kid is a job or paper route. Just anything, stocking shelves, you name it, you do it. It's great.
Oh, it sounds like an exercise in school, where you're supposed to make a financial plan, and he was the only one who came out with $200 at the end, and everyone else was in debt. It's great.
There is some family planning back in grade school. I remember doing.
Nice. We never did something like that.
It was more just one exercise in one class, but it's kind of funny, like how you would plan out your future and how much you would make a year, and if you got promoted after 10 years or whatever at the time, what the interest rate was, and how you'd start paying a mortgage, like little stuff like that, which I thought was cool, but it was only one exercise. I thought, this is neat. I didn't learn about this from anyone. My parents talked about it, but that was it. And from a child's perspective, you're like, you should know this. Like, you don't know. You're just totally alien of how mortgages work and how the banks lends out money. And we have a thing called GICs, for example, where interest rates were high, so they would pay out even higher rates. And you can get 3-year returns or 5-year returns, locking your money in. So like all these schemes for investing and paying down debt is like, oh, this is good to know how to do this efficiently, how to save money, where to go shopping, how to cut coupons, all that stuff. That is very important day to day.
How to cut coupons?
Yeah, you gotta
Don't
find.
you use scissors?
Well, where to find them, because nowadays you have all these apps. These are amazing apps for getting deals. Like, you don't even know they exist, and they will price compete. So if you find a coupon from another store, you could use that at another place. It's great. It's great stuff. Like, you're like, oh wow, I didn't know some places do that. So just have proof of coupons at the time. They just actually bring the flyer in. But
I just do the traditional thing where I go through several shops in town, and then I see, oh, you have different prices for the same things. I'm going to go to the other shop.
I know some places obviously you can only get certain products, but I will buy cheaper cheddar across town if I can, just because I save
kind of. Yeah, the kind of. I think it's just fun because it's a bit like this hunter-gatherer thing.
Oh yeah, if you're in a marketplace where it's one street, it's great. It's like fruit over here, fruit over there. It's like, oh, I could buy my kiwis down over there for 2 cents less. It's like, great. Saves me 30 seconds of just going there and getting it. I'll do that. 30 seconds. I got 30 seconds of my life. Sure.
Time is money.
Yeah.
But it's also fun.
It is fun, honestly. Even when you buy anything like stocks, it's like, oh, I could have bought it today at 205. I bought it yesterday at 207. It's like, oh, shucks. It happens. Anyway.
Disassociate their feelings is a sign that something bad is going on, and pretty much every woman knows this just by being alive in society.
Every woman knows this, but
by being alive.
But men, we have no idea. Our feelings, we can't understand them whatsoever.
Did she just say the society word?
Every woman in society just knows this. They have divine knowledge from feelings. Just feelings generate thoughts. It's like, wow. Thanks, Maggie. It's great.
Next, she's gonna tell us about melanin?
Yeah,
And how it gives us divine knowledge from the sun.
The wisdom of women. Yeah.
Stop taking it away from me.
Men's testosterone is getting in the way of their feelings. Okay.
So what message does Fireproof want to send about how they should view marriage? Well, you should want to marry your dad. Like, literally.
What?
Once again, I wish I was exaggerating.
Okay, I know she's
Make me feel
exaggerating.
dumb.
She is really making shit up now. If you think a fundamentalist Christian video wants you to marry your dad, that is some bizarre Freudian bullshit I've ever heard.
Maybe it's like she just can't believe that there might be like some father figures that actually give you a good message and teach you how to live and helps you out when you need it. Because it's just incredible to like think like, oh, everyone has to be bad.
I guess she didn't have a present or competent father figure.
That is understandable. It happens. I know of several of those occasions, but it's like such complete denial. Like that, like there's no good things. Let's just like fuck everything that from tradition and just like demolish everything. Kill the past if you have to. Or whatever Wakanda leader said.
Well, here's Kirk Cameron's dad. Thanks for the tip. Remember, son, it's important. I'm trying to do a Dick Cheney voice. I can't remember what he sounds like. Remember, son, it's important to keep your ad block on and your antivirus software up to date. You don't want to look adverts of Russian singles in your area while you're jerking off to boats. It's embarrassing.
Hey, thanks, Dad.
Where would I be without you?
Oh my God, I love you, Dad. Let's get married.
Is Maggie trying to publish her fanfiction?
Oh,
like it has been like so bad that fanfiction.com rejected it like 10 times already.
That's not real, is it?
No, like I'm just making this up, but like can you imagine that like her fanfiction are just so bad that the site itself is just bouncing it back and tells it like, hey, fuck this. Like I'm gonna like read through all the other Sonic crap, but like not this one. Maggie, try better.
Okay.
Reading everything.
Anyway, yeah, dads and sons getting married. Okay, Mags, let's go here.
The first minute or so of Fireproof over, accompanied by images of a little girl's room. We are 25 years in the past, and this is Catherine's childhood room. We hear young Catherine talk about how she wants to literally marry her dad.
Mommy, I want to marry Daddy.
Now,
That's normal at that age, you bint.
Love her father, so I get what they're going for. But the turn this scene takes is a boatload of yikes.
Catherine, you can't marry Daddy. He's my husband.
Well, when we're done being married, can I have him?
This comes off like daddy fan fiction. Like what a dad
No,
imagines
it's completely
his daughter
normal
and
child
wife
logic,
talk
you idiot.
Daddy fan fiction? What the
Can't believe how dumb she is.
Okay.
It's just like
Seriously.
people at that age, they don't know that there are some other people as well because they don't know them as much. And it's just incredible to them that like, oh, so how can I have a person like this in my life?
How could a little girl love their father to the point of saying they want to marry him?
This cannot be.
How does this happen?
Completely normal.
How can you love someone if they are not
know how the world
pansexual?
works yet.
You know, there's been studies of men falling in love with women who resemble their mothers. It's amazing. It's kind of cool, but
There's a bit of a priming going on, but the same is true for girls.
Yeah.
and guys resembling their fathers.
It's when we talk about preferences towards sexuality and why some men have a certain subjective taste towards other women. And it's like, yeah, this is you in the environment you were raised. This is the part of the world you were in. It's why you find women attractive in this way. It's like, yeah, there's a lot of evidence.
What does that say about men who are attracted to women with penises?
Oh, interesting. I don't know. I'd have to read up a study on that. I haven't seen those, so I'd have to.
We should invite Dr. Lehman.
Oh, yeah. Well, I'm sure there have been some studies, but I I don't know how objective those would be, but I'd be curious to read them. Anyway, we are halfway done, I think. Yeah. Okay.
While he's away. Him. Between the gross tie and the daddy's little girl sign and the picture of the little girl smooching daddy while she talks about how she wants to marry him, the female lead of this movie is quite literally infantilized by this intro. I just get the feeling that this little girl is being set up to make some really unhealthy relationship decisions. This intro also includes a very important rhetorical detail. The little girl asks,
"Will we live happily after ever?"
And her mom says,
If you married somebody who really, really loves you.
in any normal movie, this intro would serve as an ironic framing device to highlight how messed up Kirk Cameron is as a husband and how he absolutely does not really, really love his wife. But Christian evangelicals don't have a sense of irony. This intro is...
And neither do you, apparently. Oh, my God. Here is Kirk Cameron's dad one more time. Oh, jeez. Remember, son, when your wife wants to marry her own dad as a child, it's an early warning sign that she'll want to drop thousands on a door painting, and she gets easily jealous of her husband jerking off to boa R's?
Boas?
Boa and then space capital R apostrophe S. Boars?
I have no idea.
I think you had a malfunction there. I think it's boats. Boa R's means many things. Anyway, Zimzilla99, thanks for the 5. Why does Maggie, no matter when you pause on her face, look like that old crazy girlfriend meme? Yeah, I know, we mentioned that before. Never stick it in crazy, gentlemen. This is what I'm saying. In order to be in a relationship with Maggie, you have to 100% agree with everything she's ever said. It's so nuts that if you go, yeah, that's a bit weird, Maggie, then it's gonna freak you out for the rest of your days with this lady. Like, why did you say that about Kirk Cameron? I know he's a weirdo, but that's just too much. Like, he wouldn't want to sleep with his father. Come on, come on, Maggie, that's too much.
Like, it's still like there was like one tweet she made about like a conversation she had like with one of her friends, supposedly, who just happened to have a child recently, and then what Maggie's first reply was that like, oh, I could have imagined you being like a gay couple, and then the guy replied that like, no, and like once you have a child, you will understand as well. And then Maggie took it like, oh, well, that's like so romantic.
What?
I saw you as a gay. If one of my friends,
like the guy tried to like be so diplomatic that like, Maggie, you're so fucking weird. Like, shut the fuck up.
Can you imagine?
Like,
just imagine your friend saying that to you. I imagine you having a gay boyfriend, or it's like, what the fuck did you just say to me?
I just had like my
Maggie imagines like, every form to have a gay relationship.
Like that, you would just knock your friend out.
Exception.
You would just body him to the floor and say, "Excuse me, what did you say?"
No, just walk away.
To Maggie, you're just a fetish object she fantasizes about that having a gay relationship.
Like you don't.
That's all you are to her.
You don't just say this to your friends, guys. Hey, you know what? You should probably get cock. Like that's what I see you doing in your near future. I can't see you hooking up with a girl. It's like, excuse me, you just attacked.
No. The perfect reply is like, how about you get the cock? You seemingly need one.
Apparently,
this is really nuts.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, there's ways to insult men, and that is not a good way. Like this. Oh, jeez.
It's not very kind.
No, you don't attack their sexual. You do not attack a man's masculinity. That is not a good idea. You're just itching for a fight.
Supposed to be viewed as romantic in every way, both in its weirdly incestual undertones and in young Catherine's fantasy, even though that fantasy directly conflicts with the reality that we watch unfold in her adult life. I mean, you could...
Because it's not real and you're delusional. That's how that worked out in your brain there, Maggie.
Yeah. Remember when she explained magical thinking?
Yeah, but that was from an actual scientist who
Yeah, but that's what she's doing.
Well, yeah, I guess.
The whole story about, I imagine you like a gay couple. That is magical thinking on her part. She doesn't care about reality.
Yeah, well.
At the end of the movie, she's living happily ever after, but do you really expect me to believe that this emotionally, physically, economically, and spiritually abusive marriage is going to lead them to a happily ever after? The thing is, every step of the
I don't know, it's how plot develops. Maybe they do turn a corner and learn to love properly. Why don't you go through that whole scene?
And be fiscally responsible?
Yeah, why don't you actually show that and talk about it? As opposed to like, can I really believe this is going to happen? It's like, I don't know. Did you watch the rest of the film? Why would you say that? I don't know what happens next. I can't believe it's going to work out. It's like, well, they catch the murder at the end of Murder Mysteries for some reason. Was it logical? Did it make sense? Is that so hard to believe? Some stories aren't that well put together. I'll admit that, but you have to actually analyze that part of the film there, Mags.
As Kirk goes through these empty transactional gestures to try to save his disastrous marriage, Catherine calls him out and sees his selfish behavior for what it is.
In the last few days, he has fixed me coffee, bought me these pitiful little flowers, and just now called just to see if I'm doing okay.
Oh, what a monster. Oh, my God. How pathetic. What a pathetic male behavior. Trying to win my affection by doing little things.
By being nice. Disgusting.
What is... I don't... Has Maggie
I'm starting to understand Kirk Cameron's character.
Has Maggie ever been in a relationship? I'm like, what?
Don't think so.
Supposedly.
I can imagine she's been fucking around, but that's it.
That's about it. My God, he got
maybe,
me flowers.
Maybe like she needs to live somewhere. Like
he called me up. He made me coffee. What a horrible, horrible fellow.
How dare he? Why doesn't he just? I would take him back instantly if he would just landscape the backyard.
If only
landscaped.
He came in the house with a paintbrush and a roller. Then I'd consider staying with him. It's like, holy shit, lady.
I just want that door painted black, like in the Rolling Stones song.
Oh dear.
She's clearly more intelligent than he is, which is kind of funny, actually. But just as we, the audience, are trained to ignore Kirk's feelings and listen to Daddy, we are also trained to ignore Catherine's feelings and listen to Daddy.
So Kirk doing nice things is ignoring he's not being honest? Is that what you're saying? He's here's some coffee, bitch. Good. Like no. He's being nice. And she's admitting he's being nice. You're like, what? His dad gives him good advice. Be nice to your wife. He ends up being nice. The wife's like, pugh. He's just making this up. He's not being authentic. It's like, well, how do you know that? Maybe he's trying to be nice. Is that just as bad? At least he's making the attempt. Holy crap.
Yeah, instead of divorcing you.
I mean, I'd rather he fake being nice than just not being nice. The end result is you get some coffee. The end result is you talk to him more. I mean, is that so bad? Maybe you could tell, hey, stop calling me in the middle of the day, you moron. I'm busy. You could be cruel. I don't care. He made the attempt. This is bizarre. Wives and husbands should know that, hey, we got to work on our problems. And she's like, oh, why are you even calling me?
By the time Catherine has really made up her mind, we've already heard the don't listen to your feelings and ignore how you feel in the moment speeches. So when Catherine says,
let me be real clear with you about something. I do not love you.
We and Kirk already know that feelings don't matter. So obviously her feelings don't matter either. Just as Dick Cheney keeps pestering Kirk, Kirk simply needs to keep pestering her, spying on her, and bribing her with material objects until she gives in. Yes, this movie does encourage stalking. Because of course it does.
It's his wife. He wants to get through to her. They live together. They're going through a problem. He's trying.
It's just like, can we trust Maggie's word on this? That like it's not stalking, but yes, like it's the wife. Why wouldn't he can be in the same house?
Yeah, the wife is the one with the problem.
Yeah.
Kirk.
If they were just a boy and girlfriend and one got dumped, you could make the argument, but not when they're married.
Yeah. This is a very like, okay, people are it looks like they're going through a divorce. Perhaps Kirk is like, no, I'm going to keep working on the marriage, and she's like, I don't love you anymore. Well, okay, not the greatest sign, but that's not defeat. He can work on that. She can work on that if she wants to. So whose fault is it at this point? The guy trying, or the girl admitting to saying, I don't love you anymore? That's one scene of the film. I'm sure there's more to it, but at least she's getting to the point. And I'm like, okay, feelings don't matter. It's like, what? No. It's not the lesson of the film so far. Oh my God. Here's a donation from Hillary Quinton.
Oh God.
The wife is a huge cunt. Yeah, I think we came across that. Does Maggie think couples having an argument about money equates to abuse? Hell, I shudder to imagine one of Maggie's friends being suicidal, calling her for help, and Maggie just saying, you should do what your emotions say. Do it. Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
This is
also, yes, if you have a suicidal bout, just curl up in a cramp.
There's all kinds of fights people get into, whether you're talking about boyfriend and girlfriend or marriage. It's not the end of the world. You can work through these things if you want to. That's how it goes.
Yeah.
As married, though, that's like, okay, you're committed. You better figure that out.
Yeah, always depends on the issue. There are issues where it is justified to call this whole thing off.
Right.
That's not the issue.
Yeah. There's
lots you can work through.
This is a miscommunication issue and a money issue, which is very common as problems, but it's not the end of the world. Like this, it's not like they don't have money. They're just saving up for some other priorities that they're not aligning with. And that's it. It's like, hey, I want to buy a car. I want to buy a boat. I want to buy a paint job for a door. It's like, okay.
A door.
Yeah, these things can be solved. Anyway.
And since the love dare is about treating relation transactionally, what actually gets Catherine...
Relationships are transactional. In case you didn't know that, human interactions are transactions. You can call it whatever you like. Use any verb. How you interact with each other is...
Yes, I mean, even then you don't get shit for free, because that would be an abusive relationship.
Exactly. You treat people in a positive way when you interact with them. You give them things. You give them kindness. You make them laugh. There's all kinds of interactions we can call a transaction.
A relationship is mutual. It's not just a one-way street.
Right.
Take Kirk back is when he finally found his boat money to buy her mother the medical equipment that she needs. Kirk buys Catherine's love. Quite literally, their marriage is a transaction.
So what?
Their whole argument was about money.
Yeah, if the priority is I want to, take care of my mom, that's a pretty important priority. And for him to realize that, oh yeah, your mom, of course, it's more important than a boat. It's like, yeah, no shit. You're the daughter. You want to take care of your mom. It makes perfect sense. And she has medical bills to pay or whatever. It's like, yeah, you're the husband. You got to help out. What's wrong with that? That's the good times and the bad times. That's what you do. So, of course, we don't know the actual monetary value of, this $20,000 problem has to be solved with medicine. But, yeah, you do that for your family. And that's not a Christian thing. That's a universal thing. You help out your family. So,
pretty much.
Yeah. You take care of your elderly. That's how it goes.
And this is framed as romantic and good.
It is. It is nice to see some guy say, hey, I have interests. I'm going to put them to the side for now. I'm going to focus on your problem. That's a good thing. I would say it's a heroic thing. He's putting his pleasures to the side and focusing on other people's problems. So
Mm-hmm.
Again, not a Catholic thing, but yeah, sure.
What a beautiful lesson. Also, Kirk used to kiss a woman who wasn't his wife, so they had his real wife put on a wig for this shot. That doesn't prove anything or fit into the argument that I'm making this video, but it is really bizarre and somehow encapsulates a lot of what's wrong and creepy about this movie.
No, it's just the actor doesn't want to kiss Kirk Cameron. That's fine. It's unprofessional of her, but that's how he makes movies. He kisses his wife. Good for him. I don't care.
Yeah, but if it's devout Christians doing this, I can't even understand where that's coming from. Still silly and unprofessional, as you say, but there's a reason why. Because these people try to be actually faithful.
Yeah.
To their partners.
So here's Jack.
From that shot, like you can't even tell, like if it's not the same actor.
Yeah. So in a way, you could say, yeah, at least they are authentic Christians in that sense, at least.
Interesting. Yeah. Here's Jackpot8338 in the chat. Smudby, would you date Maggie if you had a gun to your head? Well, I guess if I had a gun to my head, I'd pretty much do anything. So. What wouldn't you do? One is a quick death. The other one is a death of many other kinds. I mean, if she only eats like vegetarian, I'd be like, okay, I can deal with this. I won't be happy.
She eats vegetarian brains.
Okay, I can't believe it's not calf brains or whatever. It's like it's artificial.
Yeah, the brains.
It's artificial brains or whatever. What is it? Impossible burgers and impossible brains. That kind of meat. Anyway.
So that wraps up the plot, but we're at everything within the narrative of Fireproof is centered around money. But now let's take a look at the production itself.
Welcome to life. My God.
If we watch the credits, we see the usual cast and crew, but then we see this. Around 100 different people who donated food, and then a list of 24 Sunday schools, teacher groups, and homeschooling groups who gave towards catering.
Those bastards.
Means
oh my God. They gave food to the production staff. I don't know the significance of this, but let's keep going and find out.
It's a joint effort. It's a joint effort.
Yeah. Wow. A bunch of schools gave food. I'm like, okay, is that bad somehow? You didn't spend money on
just more.
Well, it's
like how many different schools.
I bet you she's gonna turn this into child labor.
Oh, that's gonna be weird.
Ah,
can you imagine these kids making sandwiches for everyone or something? And even
you
then,
have to bake the sandwiches now for the movie.
Even then, kids making sandwiches can't be that horrific.
Mm-hmm. And it's not any different than any other activism. Where the activist moms or dads take the children and tell them, you need to do, we do know this to save the world, save the planet. Hold a speech at the UN. That's what you do.
I'd rather they just make sandwiches, honestly.
Yeah.
If Greta just made bologna sandwiches, I'd be like, Greta, this is the best thing you could ever have done.
We will now teach you kids how to make Molotov cocktails. So that there are enough ready for the protest next week.
Anyway, let's see where she's going. I am dumbfounded.
Donated money. Then a bunch of establishments towards catering. Then a list of stores that donated snacks.
Okay, that's getting a bit weird.
That is a lot of food.
That is, yeah. This sounds like some sort of tax evasion thing with all this. Yeah, we got food from 12 different organizations. Like, what? Why?
Yeah.
More like 500.
Yeah, oh God, yeah, it is tax evasion.
Like, what the fuck is going on?
I was thinking at first, like, are they that thankful as like Christians that like, oh yes, like let's credit them as people.
Yeah, this does not sound very kosher to me. Anyway, here's living in Wisp's walls. Oh dear. With the way
that would be an achievement. That would be an achievement because these are all solid stone walls, 3 stones thick.
Oh my!
Except that one towards my neighbors. That is paper thin.
Okay. With the way Maggie frames this, it seems like the story is about a guy who learns to put his own family before his own material wants. Seems like a good thing, to be honest. If he did want if he did what he did beforehand, there wouldn't be a story. Yeah, you have to set up a conflict, obviously. And he's learning to be more generous and put the priorities of his family or his wife specifically ahead of his own. Sounds like a good story. Or a good lesson. I don't know about a good story, but a good lesson. But now Maggie is looking at the credits, and she's discovered this weird, I don't know what to call it, so I've never seen it before, but people donating food in the hundreds, maybe the dozens. Like, this is too many people donating food. For, 8 actors tops, production teams. So you got a team of 30 people. There's more people donating food than there are people on the staff. So something's up here.
And there are digestive bacteria.
This is too many investors throwing food. Why they're throwing food, I don't know. This is the strangest tax evasion
Probably
scheme.
save a small African country from starvation.
Maybe there's like a something in the American tax code for Christian movies where if you donate food, you get a certain rebate. I don't know. It could happen. I just find it very funny.
Most of these,
Venezuela
it's
from with
whatever. You can give your money to whomever you want. But this list of Sunday school kids is just so depressing.
Why?
From a young age, these evangelicals are conditioning their children to hand over their money to any rich person that passes the county out.
Snacks.
No, that's not necessarily money. That can be just them preparing food.
Even then, it could be like a few pennies if it were some monetary value. Like, these kids obviously don't have money, so they just wanted to get involved in movie making, I guess, and this was part of the task. And it's like, hey, you want to help out this guy making a film? And sure.
Thinking of it, those could be cents per student.
There's all kinds of schemes I've seen, like with giving money, like UNICEF during Halloween. So
because what you throw into the hat when it goes around in church, it can be a few cents.
Yeah, exactly. So we don't know exactly how much, but they actually said, hey, we know this person, let's put them in the credits and say they did something for us. That's nice.
I'm a Christian, loudly enough. Probably hundreds of lunch money. So
Yeah, because having credits at the end of a Christian film is like egotistical or something. Sure.
Obviously.
Weird. It's a weird argument.
Kirk Cameron and his rich evangelical make millions off of this movie. And to make millions, they did. 33 million domestic gross. And that probably doesn't include all the money they made from...
That's amazing. I mean, I don't care if you're a socialist or you're a Christian or whatever. If you're making a return of over 1,000, several thousand %, that's amazing. Like, you're doing it right. I don't care who you are. You're doing well. So bravo, Kirk Cameron, for making crap. It's working.
Apparently, there's a niche for this market.
Exactly. Yeah. If you found something that no one else is doing, and you're making that is crazy return.
It's all domestic too. Like, that's 16,000.
I think the biggest joke is he is making. You could say when I talk about political fetishes, this would be that version for fundamentalist Christians. He's able to make money off of that. The social justice warriors aren't making money with their political fetishes when they turn them into media products.
We can look at maybe an example of like Michael Moore doing politically charged videos. I guess I don't know what you call.
He directly did a documentary, if you will.
Right.
That is openly, honestly political.
Yeah.
But what the SJWs are doing all the time is just hijack stuff and crap on stuff and then demand that you buy it, and while it's not made for you, so you shouldn't buy it, and then they complain that they go bankrupt. While it's all laden with their political fetishes. This is the same thing for Christians, and it makes money. So what are the socialists doing wrong?
Yeah, I don't care who your background or what your mentality is or what you have in your brain. If you can turn this profit, I'm all for it. You're doing something right. So keep doing it. Same with Maggie. She's crazy and she's doing crazy shit, but people watch her crap and she's making money. So good for her.
Mm-hmm.
We are obviously our entertainment value from that is different than what she wants, but yeah. We can't help ourselves.
Well, you know that the target audience and actual audience are not necessarily the same things.
It's kind of funny with entertainment, yeah. Obviously different for practical products, but it's ironic that she says she watches these films because they're so bad they're good. We do the same thing with her. So.
Mm-hmm.
Selling DVDs to individual churches for services. The cast and crew were also made up of volunteers, plus 8 professionals who worked below their usual rates. So, as you watch every frame of Fireproof, you can rest assured knowing that all these people's labor was exploited by Kirk Cameron and the film's producers. So
if they do it
richer.
voluntarily, then that is not
right here on
exploitation.
Wikipedia. I feel like all these Christians are supposed to read it and see it as inspirational that all these people didn't get paid, but really it's just gross. On top of that, when it comes to...
It's gross because they donated their time? Why? They volunteered to do that. They weren't forced. No one's like, you must do this for your penance. It's like, no. Oh, boy.
Production. Another theme with these that they often get free support from local fire and police stations. The Albany Fire Department donated its station and trucks, plus crew for filming. Yes, our federal tax dollars, which are given to fire departments as grants, helped fund this movie. Don't you dare use taxes to fund
Maggie,
you're getting that wrong.
Healthcare.
You're getting that wrong.
Use them to help Kirk Cameron make more movies. That's called being a fiscally responsible.
No, Maggie, my God. Oh God, I need a break. Oh God, Maggie.
People, institutions, allowing access to their facilities for a film project is completely normal. That happens all the damn time for student movies from movie university, art school stuff crap. I've helped at student films with carrying around all the shit and you know what a Whisp does. Bicker all the time, and apparently somebody listens for some reason. It was fun. Was a lot of fun. But people give access to their places. That includes places like fire departments, because you know what? There's not always a fire, and they don't need all of their rooms all the time. You can actually do this for a day with you when you know in advance and you've been asked nicely, can we use your facility for our thing? Or part of it.
This happens
it's
a
completely
lot.
Normal.
Yeah, downtown Toronto. This is obviously more bigger budget films and series. But every time I go to work, at least once a month, I would see at least one block or sometimes the entire street blocked off for filming. And there's like, The Expanse was done. The Black Mirror was done back in the day. Like all kinds of shows. Titans. What was that movie with Shazam? That was done on the Danforth and other parts of Toronto. So
you mean Shazam?
Shazam, yeah, right. Shazam, the film.
That was the movie with Shazam.
Is that, yeah, same title. So it's very common. And you do have to get a permit. You do have to go through legal means, but it's like, it's a public access.
Yeah.
Happens all the time with the TTC. They block down roads to repair the streets or whatever. It's like, this is normal.
Yeah, and none of that costs tax money. At least the volunteering a room in your fire department. That doesn't cost any tax money.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just ironic that like she doesn't know about something like this.
Yeah, like there's even famous shows like was it what the hell is it called? Handmaid's Tale. That's pretty well known. That's in Toronto. The Boys. That's another one. I know there's a few others, but this thing is there's cities that are done for filming. And it's commonplace. It doesn't matter if you're part of Hollywood or Northern Hollywood or your Christian group. It's like, yeah, you have the right to do that. You've signed the forms. They give you the access. This is retarded for her to say that our tax dollars are going into this or that. It is bizarre. People can rent out places.
Yeah.
Conservative. One last thought. Fireproof was produced by Sherwood Pictures, a Christian film company in Albany, Georgia, founded by Fireproof's director Alex Kendrick. Christians love to trash Hollywood, so I'm sure the distributor was also some indie company that doesn't have any ties to... Oh no, it's Sony. This movie was distributed by a division of Sony. It's very common at this point for most major Hollywood studios or production companies to have ties to faith-based companies or even their own faith-based distribution and production divisions. And evangelicals are happy to trash Hollywood one minute and then partner with them the next if it means making more money.
How are they trashing Hollywood?
Social justice system?
How are they even part of Hollywood?
What is she talking about? What's happening? What did they do?
I think she's projecting again.
So how the fuck are you going to distribute like a movie like that? Like if you don't have like a distributor.
Yeah.
Like in 2008 especially, like internet wasn't big enough to like just upload your thing and like create a website and just like go like here's my thing. Like you need like that additional kick so like your product is going to reach the cinemas. Like I cannot imagine that Kirk Cameron managed to like get 33 million just by having it in these niche Christian cinemas.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. It had to be one of those Sony Pictures ones that they got the deal so they could show his movie there as well.
This is
must have been some distribution.
How are they attacking Hollywood? I just want that question answered. I don't know what she's on about.
Growing up,
because Hollywood does sexy stuff.
I don't know.
Which is something that her camp has problems with.
Well, there's a young Maggie Mae. Look at that. Isn't that adorable?
Growing up, but look, again, that's false. Like
she already looks mischievous as fuck. She looks like she wants to bite your balls off.
Okay.
When was this picture made? Like in the beginning of the 20th century?
Why are we bringing up her childhood? This is getting creepy now. Come on, Maggie. Don't.
Yeah. Why is this in black and white?
Before 9/11.
Back in the day, we had Polaroids that didn't have color. It's like you're 90 years old. Like what the fuck?
Maggie, you're I don't know, 17. You had color when you grew up.
No, not Maggie.
It's got to be sepia, guys. It's got to be the oldest looking technique for film grain.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I had the biggest hipster of a dad, so he only had these kind of cameras.
Religion teacher who said, if you don't investigate your own beliefs, then you don't actually believe in anything because you're just doing what someone else told you to do. Being fireproof, as described by the movie Fireproof, means not listening to your partner, not listening to your own feelings, but willingly following the advice of a distant, unconvincing old dude and manipulating people's religion and emotions to get what you want. No,
what
the religion? The religion tells you to stay together and stay married.
What part of religion was being manipulated there? What are you talking about? I didn't see a scene in any church. I didn't see any scene with a priest. What? He's being nice to his wife because he talked to his dad.
Yeah.
What is he manipulating?
Maggie, why do you hate people that are not gay being together?
What is wrong with getting advice from an elderly person, whether he's religious or not, and saying, hey, you know what? Don't get divorced. Sleep on it. Wait for 40 days. Be nice to your wife. Oh, yeah, maybe listen to her and actually pay attention and do what she wants. Might work, and people do what you want. It's kind of amazing when you help them out with their problems. It's not religious. What does this mean?
Is fireproof. I don't want to be fireproof. I want emotions and feeling and love. The things that Jesus cared about. But what do
So a husband who makes you dinner and calls you up and makes you coffee, gets you flowers, you don't want that? That was the lesson he learned. He decided to change his behavior. He's trying to be a better husband.
Mm-hmm.
Is that fake? Maybe it's fake. I don't know. Maybe it's a big, he's just acting. Is it bad though? Is it bad acting? Like, I'm not sure I'm following what she's talking about here. He's obviously changed his behavior for the better. And all we learned is that at that scene, she says, "I don't love you anymore." And boom, she walks away. And you're like, is that the movie? Is there more to it? What happened? Does it slowly build up over time where she goes, okay, this guy actually cares about me again? Or whatever the case may be. Maybe it's like she was never like that. And she's like, what the hell are you doing? Why are you doing this to me? And she's freaked out. I don't know. Maybe they stop loving each other. I don't know. We don't know the ending.
Nobody knows.
Anyway, back to Maggie's childhood, because that's frickin' relevant now.
I know, I'm just one of millions of stinky millennial lapsed Catholics. Next time, we'll find out what Christian evangelicals think of money laundering as we discover the 2013 movie I'm in Love with a Church Girl, which is loosely based on a true story and stars Ja Rule. Yes, Fire Festival Ja Rule. Because, of course, the guy who was the face of a giant scheme to rip off wannabe influencers has also been the face of one of these cash grab movies. And grab cash he shall. In the meantime, I want to thank you all for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell thingy for updates. And a big thank you to my patrons who help make these videos possible. If you want to...
Oh no, the Fight Club video.
Look at all of these people who gave their time and money to... what... Have you been exploiting them? Have they been like the same argument we can make about the credits of all these folks? We could make.
Yeah, they've obviously been lied to and tricked into this.
Tricked into that they would get a video essay. Well, they didn't
they're being tricked into getting worthwhile content.
Anyway, see if we got any stream memes going. Only two.
That's a great idea.
Thankfully. Maggie in a nutshell. Honey, it's 4 p.m. Time for gay sex with your best friend. Yes, honey? First off, this woman on the left is much too attractive. Sorry, but I can't buy this meme.
Is that all?
That's way too attractive for a girl. Like, come on. Or compared to Maggie. Yeah. I get these vibes off Maggie Medusa, by the way. Kind of. Yeah, sorry.
I would say it's close. Like, come on.
Yeah. Oh, well, Dunn couldn't make it, sadly.
Pity.
Yeah.
That would be longer, but that was pretty. Ooh.
Mm-hmm.
Uh-oh, it's John Doe, the average Joe. Thanks for the tip, sir. The wife does find out about the 40-day challenge, but realizes he's serious when he continues the challenge after the 40 days and begins to warm back up to the relationship. Character development. What do you know? He learned something. It may be a corny religious flick, but yeah, that's what you do. Is conflict. You have to learn how to deal with the conflict. You get a boon from the wise man who teaches you what to do. You go on your journey of discovery, and then you just enact your plan to overcome the conflict. And that worked out. Good for him.
Yeah, it is pretty standard, if you will.
Yeah, nothing over the top, nothing crazy. Simple flick, obviously with a religious undertone, but she didn't really show too many religious components. Just the cross, the dad, and the book. That was about it. Everything else was pretty much, be nice to your wife, care about her, love her. She's your wife. Keep her happy. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So, I don't watch these films. I'm sure they're horrible, but I didn't get that vibe from Maggie. She was just bitching about, Catholics are bad and care about money. It's like, yeah, they care about the family. Money is a huge problem with families.
Yeah, they kind of needed to live.
Yeah.
And buy door paint and landscape. To
buy $24,000 doors and paints and shrubberies. I don't know. Whatever that was about. And, of course, the motherly support for...
Maybe it was a Monty Python reference.
Yeah, probably. Maybe they had the machine that goes bing in that room with the mother. That would be great. Anyway, that was typical Mag. I would say this is a really good Maggie Mae Fish video. It's just bizarre. Her takes are ridiculous, and she just attacks things for no reason that have no bearing on reality. And even I agree, the movie's probably crap. But holy crap, what an amazing return. If you told me you could turn...
It doesn't matter whether the movie's good or bad. You would just make up random shit.
That's true, yeah. So,
and educate us about science that she doesn't practice herself.
Yeah, science of... What specifically? I don't know what she was referring to, but she just said science in general from that one guy talking about magical thoughts. So, that was not painful to go through. And I don't know if that's because we broke it down into 2 parts, but it wasn't... I think we're getting numb off Maggie. We're just like, it's Maggie. Yeah, she's saying crap again. Okay.
Yeah.
So, either that or Hawk isn't here. It's probably it too.
Yeah, we need Hawk.
Hawk is just always ranting about it. Anyway, there's Dunn in the chat. Hey, Dunn, no problem. Don't worry about it, buddy. Thank you.
We need Hawk for next time.
Next time, well, we'll see what we could do. Anyway, guys, thanks a lot. That was fun. I actually enjoyed it. This evening was great. Of course, it could be all the booze I drank beforehand, but that's, almost every other day anyway. So, thanks for tuning in. Keep the suggestions coming. Love you lots. Talk to you real soon. Have a great night. Bye-bye.